This isn't Chicago now. You get I'm teasing Chicago. I'm messing with you. That was a long time ago.
By the way, the state of North Carolina, which is having a very hot race right now, has proposed, and get ready for this, they want cameras in the voting booth that would take your picture while you are voting. So they could, if your face does not match the face recognition software identity check, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. They can exclude your vote. But that requires them to tag your picture to your particular vote. So gone is the secret ballot. And they say, oh, this is so someone doesn't vote for you. Come on. We haven't had, it almost never happens in the United States that you have identity theft. Someone walks in and votes in your name. It almost never happens because it's easy to catch these guys. But what they want to do is take your picture while you are voting, tag it to your vote, and then make it subject to challenge. Oh, your face doesn't match the software recognition image that we have.
Well, and I imagine that's a test pilot for the rest of the country in the future.
Absolutely. That North Carolina is pulling this stunt, and they'll have a choice point-like company, and so it's the problem is that first of all, they're clowns. They don't know what they're doing, so they don't do it right. So a lot of people are going to lose their vote, as they have with this so-called double voter game. And also the most vulnerable people. This is how you win elections. You can knock out, in Florida, they knocked out 58,000 people. Bush won the presidency by only 537 votes. With this double identity stuff, they're not going to knock off 3 million people. They are going to knock off, I can tell you right now, Virginia's already removed 41,000 people suspected of voting twice. And I went, by the way, I was just in Carolina. They hired an FBI agent to run this program. I said, if people are voting twice, have you arrested any? No. I said, isn't that a felony crime to vote twice? Yeah. So why don't you arrest them? Well, it's not easy. I said, you got their names, you got their addresses. You're at FBI, you've got their phone numbers, you've got their social security numbers. I mean, you're telling me you can't get these guys? No, it's not easy. So I got the list, by the way. I got 2 million of the names.
I bet you did.
And if you go to gregpalast.com, you can see it. I got 2 million of the names, and I went out and met some of these so-called double voters, these criminal double voters that ought to be in jail. And one guy, I'm not making this up. I went to one guy, he was in a wheelchair in a nursing home. I said, did you vote here? Did you vote? It was in North Carolina. Did you vote here in North Carolina and also in Virginia? He says, I swear on a stack of Bibles that I didn't vote in those 2 states at the same time. And I said, aha, I got you. He's lying because he was in this wheelchair, and there's no way he could have picked up a stack of Bibles. So, but this is what they're doing. So they can pick out anyone they want. Say, you voted in 2 states. Your name's Alex Jones. And there's another Alex Jones in North Carolina who also voted. And that means you voted twice. Your vote doesn't count. That's the game that's being played right now. Oh,
yeah, and I don't see them stopping anytime soon. You've been uncovering this sort of thing for a long time now. I'm anxious to see what you uncover as a result of the midterms. Thank you for joining us, Greg Palast. GregPalast.com is the website. And be sure to check out his latest bestseller. It's called Billionaires and Bailout Bandits, How to Steal an Election in 9 Easy Steps. The Huffington Post, it says that this book is the most terrifying book a Democrat can read. So, and all of his books and documentary films are not just earth-shattering bombshells of vital information, but they're also very humorous at times. Greg Palast has a great sense of humor and a great attitude in the face of corruption. And his books, let me tell you something, folks, they're bestsellers for a reason. So check it out, gregpalast.com. Mr. Palast, thanks for joining us today.
You're the best. Thanks a lot.
All right.
want to know what's really happening with Ebola. I want to know if there are things out there that could protect this country and protect my 3 children, just as you do. Government can't and won't protect you from Ebola. It is up to all of us to be prepared and to protect ourselves. I'm not sitting back waiting for the government to come protect me and take care of me. It's why I'm doing
these last 14 years together. It has been a powerful time. But you know, here's the best thing. The best thing is, when Greg Abbott is the next governor of the state of Texas, things are going to get even better. Because Greg Abbott understands that to give people freedom from over taxation, freedom from over litigation, freedom from over regulation, to continue to move those public schools forward, that is a platform, that is a foundation of which this state will continue to lead America. That's what.
Got Greg Abbott on stage right now. This is live coming from the Moody Theater.
I will suggest
Rick Perry, sorry, Rick Perry. He's talking about Greg Abbott. He's probably going to introduce him here. And we got Gerald Celente coming up. Give you a little taste of this. We cut into our ads for the people out there. So be sure you go visit InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com to check out all the stuff we have available.
Patrick, and to have served with Dan and had the opportunity to be the lieutenant governor for a short period of time. To have been a partner with Greg Abbott over the course of these last 14 years. Let me share something with you. There is just a really good feeling when you need your lawyer to sue the federal government, and you got Greg Abbott as your lawyer. That is a great feeling. And that's the reason that experience that he's bringing to the table is going to translate so well as the governor of this state. I can tell you, as I walk off this stage, as I finish the next 60, 70 plus days of being your governor, that I may have some concerns about things in life. I don't know what they are. But I can promise you, one of them is not where Texas is headed. The leadership that you all are putting into place, I would suggest, is some of the most solid, thoughtful, conservative, principled leadership in America. And America needs Texas doing what Texas has been doing for the last 14 years. We're going to continue that track on.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us. This is Rob Dew here. We've got Rick Perry on stage, the current governor of Texas, who is basically introducing the new governor, Greg Abbott, who has defeated abortion Barbie, Wendy Davis, which I think is a good thing, definitely. Thanks for joining us here. We're going to be here till midnight tonight. We've got about 3 hours left, maybe a little more. Maybe we'll go into overdrive if we feel like it and keep going. We're streaming this live on Infowars.com/show. We're also streaming it live on PrisonPlanet.tv. If you're a member there, you can go and check it out. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube on the Alex Jones channel, youtube.com/the Alex Jones channel. Those are all the places you can get this stream live. We sure do appreciate you joining us. And we're about to go to Gerald Celente live, trends forecaster up in Kingston, New York. He's going to be joining us to talk about stuff. His new Trends Journal just came out. In fact, it was brought to my desk this morning, which gave me the idea, hey, maybe we should get Gerald on to talk about this stuff. And when Greg Abbott comes on, we'll go to him a little bit and let him talk. And but for now, I think we're ready. Let's bring on Gerald Celente. Is he out there? Gerald, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So Gerald Celente, trends forecaster up in Kingston. I just got the new Trends Journal, Occupy Peace, May 2nd, 2015. It looks like you got a lot of big things coming up. What's on your mind now with all these midterm elections? Are you going to see any change? What's your feeling on all this?
Well, my feeling is that everyone should go back and watch Alex Jones' Obama deception. And it's played out. It should win an Academy Award because what we talked about in that movie, and you were up here to film it, it's all come true. It's just one big fraud followed by a mid-election fraud. I've been in this business. I began my career, by the way. I used to run political campaigns in Westchester County in New York in 1970s.
So you've seen the pageantry involved in all this and the pomp and circumstance and the BS that goes along with a campaign.
Yeah, and I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. In my entire life, I've never watched a midterm election that so many people cared so little about. There wasn't one major issue. Yet they're estimated, what, 1.5 million TV ads, about $4 billion spent for what? To put in take out the incompetents and put in the inepts? I mean, it's more of the same, just different names, and much of the same has never left. You look at all the career politicians that still are, back in office again, never having a real job in their lives. So this is, again, everyone should go back and look at the Obama deception because it played out exactly like that. Obama's approval rating is at its lowest since he began the charade. The public is turned out and tuned out. And I'm wondering what the numbers are going to be because as watching the returns coming in all night, I haven't heard many of them. I predict it's going to be a very low voter turnout. So that's really what it is. It's just more of the same, but probably a little worse in some areas.
You know, aside from these elections for the incumbents and the challengers that are going on, there are some interesting GMO initiatives, the GMO labeling initiatives out west. There's a few medical marijuana and just legalization of recreational marijuana initiatives going on. Plus, there's also a lot of light rail stuff sprinkled in, stuff that'll take your money and raise your taxes in a heartbeat. A lot of that going on. Are you interested in any of those, or are those trending in your area?
Of course I am, but but again, how many states with the GMO? What is it? Just a handful. And the same with the legalization of marijuana. I mean, that's one of the big, shams of all times. My God, this war on drugs that's just kept, throwing people in jail and filling up the prison industrial complex. Again, when you look at this, Rob, when you look at the entire aspect of the campaign, the elections, these are just little pockets. There's nothing really about the economy. There's really nothing about foreign policy. There's really nothing about anything. And so as I look at it, and looking at it as a trend forecaster, here's what I see. I see that if the Republicans come in, there'll be more of a push to war. Not that the Democrats were slowing it down much, but it'll just a little bit more juice into it. And they're going to pass that Trans-Pacific Partnership gig, robbing more of our money so that the multinationals can make more of it by doing a trade deal. So they'll push that through. But it's the same. There's really not much difference. Again, the inepts and the incompetents, or I like to call them, rather than the Republicans and the Democrats, I'm more comfortable calling them the Bloods and the Crips because they're both murderers and thieves. They kill millions of people in the name of bringing freedom and democracy to sovereign nations, and they steal our dough every day from too big to fail or tax breaks for their buddies or whatever else they can make up.
And they arm terrorists, and then we have to go fight wars against the terrorists that we arm. They also ship in the drugs. You can look at Afghanistan. They're having record opium production right now. We're guarding those troops. We're helping them with fertilizer. We're helping them bring their crops to market. And then we're also the black ops stuff, the cocaine flying in from Central America. We're doing all this stuff, and it's our government. And then we're putting people in jail who use the stuff here. It's a great system that they've developed for us. Really amazing. Look at that, $7 billion U.S. campaign. Still doesn't quite hit the $20 billion that that all these agencies are using with the micro purchase credit cards. What do you think of that? $20 billion in 1 year spending on micro purchases is what they call them. Anything less than $3,000. I could use a few micro